Palestinians around the world have been showing their support for the people of Gaza. In Europe, that could have serious consequences for protesters, possibly even jail sentences. So why are European governments so afraid of pro-Palestinian demonstrations? Hello and welcome to Roundtable. I'm Enda Brady. Now, EU leaders have come out overwhelmingly in support of Israel. But the Palestinians living in Europe want to show solidarity. But with protests banned in France and Germany, that could be very difficult.
Flares followed by water cannon and tear gas. This was Paris on October 12th, and only one authorized pro-Palestinian protest has gone ahead following a ban. It's a similar story in Germany, where many were arrested for attending this unsanctioned demonstration. And in London, pro-Palestinian protesters could be detained on terrorism offences if police believe they're showing support for Hamas.
Of course, we've got a right to protest in our country as a cornerstone of our democracy, but you've got to do it within the law. What you can't do is to incite hatred. What you can't do is to support proscribed organisations.
About 750,000 Palestinians reside in Europe, though the figures are patchy as record-keeping in Palestine is difficult, and it's up to Palestinians in Europe to self-identify, with the largest number doing so in Germany. But the most Muslims on the continent live in France, at over 5.5 million, followed by Germany and the UK. They're supporting Palestinians in the current conflict. Tensions from the war are spilling over. According to the Metropolitan Police, Islamophobic offences in London are up 140% in October from a year earlier, in the wake of the attack. Anti-Semitic attacks have risen by 1,353%. In real terms, in the first 2 weeks of the month, Islamophobic instances were up from 42 to 101, and anti-Semitic incidents rose from 15 to 218 over the same period. In a statement, police said, regrettably, despite the increased presence of officers, we have seen a significant increase in hate crime across London. With the violence in Gaza likely to continue for months, can anything be done to keep Muslim and other minority communities safe?
Well, let's meet our panel. Joining us over Skype is Sari Hanafi, Professor of Sociology at the American University of Beirut. In Berlin is Majed Abu Salama, co-founder of Palestine Speaks, which is an advocacy group. And here with me in the studio is the Palestinian journalist Youssef Al-Helou. Majed, I'll start with you first, if I may. Just tell me, what's it like being Palestinian right now?
Wow, I think it's very courageous question. I think it's very hard. I think it's the word have failed us completely. The word has to stand clearly with the fascist far right. We are, for the first time, we feel very alone, and we feel that there is no way that we can go through state complicity, because it seems the Western states are not listening to us and not even letting us mourn for the death of our families, and not standing on any way in the right side of humanity. It is in 2023, we thought when we are in the news, people can hear us. When our bodies are exposed there, seeing the tears of the mothers and the fathers and seeing all this destructions, Gaza has been flattened, people are without water, fuels, electricity. The third week is running and nobody is speaking for Palestinians and for Palestinian rights. And I can tell you, we feel alone. Alone because we also see that our demos has been banned in Europe as well, and we are not able to protest in many different places. And we see that it took us 2 weeks to go to the news so we can speak our own narrative and our own stories.
Sari, they're very powerful words there from Majed. He says the world has failed us completely. We feel alone. How are you feeling?
Well, I don't feel alone. And this is related to geography. Majed, I think he's in Berlin, but I am in Lebanon. I live there. where we felt dignity for all the Palestinians in Gaza, but in West Bank, inside of Israel, and in the diaspora. We felt that it's what happened, what the Palestinian resistance did is a game changer. It's not anymore Israel will enjoy a cheap occupation, humiliation of the Palestinians. We feel that it's time that we don't want to die slowly. And actually, when we die slowly, just to remind everyone that from January this year until August, you have 223 Palestinian died. I'm not sure it was in the media, in any of the TVs, without talking about profanation of Al-Aqsa and all the wounded and those who went to prison from West Bank and Gaza. So occupation was so cheap. So this is why we are happy. We say now there is a change in the game. However, like Majid, I think also I have this sadness of seeing every day the number of Palestinian, mostly civilians. I would say 95% of them died in Gaza, children, women, elderly. So it's amazing. Now we have 48 journalists died in Gaza. So it's Israel is targeting really all those who bear witness of this 75 years of atrocity of the Zionist project in Palestine. So if you like, I am sad, but I know that it's unbearable, this cheap occupation and this legitimization of all the outposts and the settlements since the beginning of 2023. So now either we go for a total war in the region, or for a process where we can have some hope for the Palestinian, some even fair, if you like, solution. Again, I am someone who always calling for one-state solution. Living in Lebanon, I feel that it should be one solution for all those who live in historical Palestine, and not two-state solution. But I think the nationalism is too high from both sides, from our sides as a Palestinians, but also from the Israeli sides. So maybe it can be some temporary solutions where we feel at least some application of international law.
Let's bring in Youssef. Youssef, how have you been feeling these past few weeks?
Well, allow me first to say that I did not ask to be a Palestinian. I just got lucky. The Palestinian cause is a just cause, a universal cause. If Che Guevara is alive today, he would be fighting alongside the Palestinians for self-determination, for freedom. There is international apathy. I feel a sense of deep sorrow, frustration, anger that the world is allowing the atrocities and genocide and ethnic cleansing to take place while they just watching the Palestinians killed day and night for the last 20 days in a row. So I feel there is growing support for the Palestinian cause. I think there is mobilization on the popular level, but the official level is really bad. We know that Palestinians are the victims, whereas the world is allowing Israel for self-defense at the expense of the suffering of the Palestinian people. It seems the Palestinians, they are doomed to misery. Gaza is a pressure cooker. It's the world's largest open-air prison. It's a concentration camp.
And your family are living there?
My family is there. My whole family is there. I was there 2 months ago. I was born there. I grew up there. Whenever I go there, I feel that it is a big prison because Israel is still in full control of Gaza's airspace, territorial waters, and border crossings. Half of the population are young people with no hopes and aspirations. Israel has killed any chance for peace and peaceful settlement in the region. Actually, the people of Gaza have been taken hostage by Israel, not only for the past 17 years of siege, but since 1967, where 2/3 of the population in Gaza are descendants of refugees.
Tell me, Yusuf, how do you feel watching TV news reports, the radio? You can't escape what's happening at the moment, and your family are there. Do you worry when you look at a text message or when your phone rings?
It's heartbreaking, of course. Minute by minute, I have to check my phone, fearing that I receive a sad or shocking news. Gaza is a small piece of land, 40 kilometers long, 8 kilometers wide. It's like a pressure cooker. The Israeli blanket bombardment do not spare anybody. There is no safe place in Gaza. Everywhere there are bombs. Even the southern area of Gaza, when the Israeli instructions said it's going to be safe, it's not safe. Our correspondent's family, our colleague Al Jazeera, Wael Dahdoh, lost his family. So no one is immune. Paramedics came under attack, journalists, mosques, bakeries, markets, anything is a target in Gaza.
Majid, can I ask you, how do you feel when you see European leaders like Sunak in the UK, Macron in France, voicing unequivocal support for Israel?
I think I'm getting used to this as a Palestinian. I think the officials, especially the last, I would say 15 years, Europe have been going very far right and has been threatening to the Palestinian struggle for liberation, because far right doesn't see the Palestinian. They see their white supremacist, whitewashing things. They see neoliberal perspective. They don't see their interest with refugees and liberation. It doesn't gain economical interest to them. They see their interest with the fascist right-wing regime, with their armed trade. They see themselves with any right-wing like parties. And it's clear to us, as Palestinian, we are at the official level throughout the last 15 years. We have been losing because the far right is becoming the strongest in Europe, and therefore there was a huge resistance from in the BDS movement, for example, in the trade unions, in the popular movement, as Yusuf said. We have a strong growing solidarity also among young Jewish people and among young European. But among the people, not the official part. The parties has a certain stance that is clear to us throughout the first 7 to 10 days or 2 weeks of this massacre of our people. It's clear that they have not mentioned us. They don't see us. We are invisible to them. They just see Israel and their interest with Israel. They have not mentioned us in any of their statements. Look at Ursula, the European Commission Parliament's president. She just went to Israel 2 days after to just look after the people there and show interest and show support. Biden, the same. Many others, have been showing really a strong support of Israel without any mention of us or without any going to the roots of our violence and struggle, which, as Yusuf and Sari have mentioned, which is settler colonial apartheid regime that the Palestinian has been actually fighting. Nobody talks about the Palestinian in Gaza at all. They just, throughout all the last years, normalizing our struggle. We have people killed every day in all the Palestine, from the 48 to the 67 land, the West Bank, by settlers, and in Gaza by snipers and by shooting at our farmers in the buffer zone and so on. But who cared about us? They care about us when there is an extreme massacre happening. They cared about us a little bit, just to maybe not to stop it,
Well, just on that point,
today, somehow to stop it. Let me just mention, before they wanted to stop it a little bit, because there was some kind of balance. Today, they don't want to stop it. You see all the foreign ministers' letters. I have sent a letter to the foreign minister and the Finnish foreign minister, who answered me saying, Majid, we had already asked them to send foil and food and medicine to Gaza. That's what they asked for. They actually enjoy having us under siege, it seems so. They don't mind us being in an open-air prison. And that's clear to us. That's why I'm saying we are alone in this with the pro-Palestine solidarity people and those people who are in the right side of history.
Let's bring in Sari. Sari, just on that point.
Not enough.
Just on that point, Sari, about the pro-Palestine sentiment, we have seen in European capitals like Dublin and Paris and London as well, big rallies in support of the Palestinian people. Well, let's hear from some of the pro-Palestinian demonstrators and why they're protesting.
I'm here today to show my love and my compassion for the Palestinians who are suffering in Gaza and all the innocent lives that are being lost. We've came today. It's not about religion, it's about humanity coming together and fighting for what's right.
It's unfair. They are innocent people. Hamas has nothing to do with that. Where is Hamas? A child is not Hamas. A child is not a terrorist. A hospital is not an organisation. You can't attack something like that.
Do you draw strength from that kind of support in other countries?
Yeah, absolutely. But before talking this, just I would like to comment on what Majid said. Actually, the problem is not only the far right; it's also the left. I mean, you know, your government in Germany is a green plus social democrat. So actually, this is what is horrible, and so both the left and the right, they joined their forces when it comes to the colonial questions, unfortunately. So if you like, I think I am extremely surprised. For instance, in a country I know very well, France, that I live there, that in spite of the banning of demonstration, in spite of banning of having kufi and the Palestinian flag, people went into street. We have never seen as a rally about Palestine, I would say, since Sabra and Shatila massacre in 1982. So amazing. People are revolting against all this, if you like, hypocrisy of the West, and that outraged how the Israeli, American, French, and German didn't heed the lessons of history.
I want to take a look at the issue of young people who are being hounded, threatened at universities, in academia, in business. On screen now, we have a Twitter exchange from a young Palestinian who was doing her PhD at McMaster University in Ontario in Canada. And she was threatened to be blocked from getting her PhD and slandered as being anti-Semitic by, it turns out, a doctor and a professor at her university. And he wrote back to her piece on X, formerly known as Twitter, "I will work day and night to ensure your anti-Semitic self doesn't get a PhD from McMaster." Are you seeing evidence of this elsewhere, that young Palestinians are being hounded, threatened, effectively having their futures stolen from them?
Well, the Palestinian cause has become a symbol of freedom and justice and self-determination. We have been seeing such threats made online against those, whether they are Palestinians or non-Palestinians, just because they are showing solidarity and support. But I don't think it's going to stop them, because blackmailing those influencers, paying them thousands of dollars, this is a very cheap attempt to silence the truth. The thing is, the international double standards policy when it comes to the Palestinians, it has been exposed now. The hypocrisy. We know that the West is siding by Israel. They are supporting Israel militarily, financially, logistically. I think there is an attempt to erase what's remaining from the Palestinians who still reside there. I think what's happening is a way to ethnically cleanse the Palestinians who are.
Do you think this is Israel's game plan?
I think Israel doesn't want Palestinians to exist. The PLO recognized Israel's right to exist. Even in the West Bank, Hamas doesn't exist there. And still, Israel kills Palestinians in Jerusalem, imprisoning thousands of political prisoners, stealing Palestinian resources. Israel doesn't want Palestinians to keep the momentum of resistance, to ask for their basic rights, to ask for the return of Palestinian refugees who are scattered around the world. So these attempts will fail. The world is awakened. People nowadays, they educate themselves. They know that Israel is the root causes of all these problems.
Majid, I want to turn to you. What do you make of all the young people who have been threatened, bullied in the past couple of weeks over their support for the Palestine cause?
Can I just come back to what Sari said, because it's very important. I can answer your
Yes.
question directly after, and I just want to disagree with what is the left party in Germany, or the Social Democrat is there. The Social Democrat and Green Party is Zionist and far right. You cannot put them in the left. I lived in Germany for a while, and I know who's the infrastructure. And German guilt is way beyond Zionism. They will protect Zionism more than Zionists will protect themselves. Plus, actually, something we see it in the BDS movement as well, and see it through all our organizing. And I'm one of those who organize in the street. The global South people are rising. They feel betrayed. The global South people are the ones in the street. If you look at the faces of the people who are in the streets of Berlin, Paris, or London, most of them, if not the majority, are people of color and black people. So it is very important to notice the difference. There is a wave, which you said at the beginning. It's that wave, which is that there is a two-polar power. The global South in Ukraine, they have seen there is a double standard, and they're not seen. They're considered uncivilized. They consider terrorists. Again, with Gaza, they again see that nobody's seeing. They're only watching, and they care about their own people.
Majid,
So
just
this
back to
is
my
a
question,
new
Majid.
shift
Majid,
in
just back to my
waves,
question on the issue of young people being harassed and bullied and having the threat of their futures taken away from them for supporting Palestinian causes.
This is a regular thing we have. It's for years. My sister is one of those who have lost her job, because of this. Her name is Shahad Abu Salama in the UK. There was a huge campaign. And then she was installed back again after a lot of students' movements and academics has pushed the university to install her back again. And that was a victory. However, at this time, we are in a very vulnerable situation, precarious situation. I saw there is a huge resistance coming. People are really angry. But I must say, maybe I'm a bit not pessimist. I'm very optimist. I think there is a huge pushback from the Zionist lobby, and that comes with a lot of smearing. Many of our comrades we receive in Germany, in Vienna, in France, many people are receiving letters. Why did you change your profile picture to black? Why did you speak? My sister, she has been threatened many people send letter to her job to cancel her. Me, myself, to my university, people have sent to my university, tag my university. Why do you employ this guy? So there is a huge smearing mechanism, censoring mechanism, silencing mechanism. This is part of the Zionist lobby. And
let's bring Sari back in.
Government.
Sari, how do you feel about all of this cancelling of people who support the Palestinian cause?
Again, I will start by Majid to say a left there is a definition of left. It's not the left something we like. I mean, socio-democrat and the Green, they are historically part of the left. In any case, I will come to your questions. Look, I think that there is amazingly intolerance in debates, in media, in the campuses, in university campuses nowadays, in liberal democratic countries, including Germany, France, United States, etc. So you are rightly to use the word cancel. This is absolutely cancel culture. And what is new is not only cancel culture come from the left, but come from the right. So there is a serious issue. This is a threat, a real threat to the liberal democracy. I think today we are in a terrible situation worldwide that nobody will believe the importance, the virtue of liberal democracy because of this cancel culture. Just to tell you that I did a research in the United States to show that last year you have 4,200 lecture counseled. We call it disinvitations. And one of the topic of disinvitation was the Palestinian-Israeli conflict. Today is very difficult in many campuses to bring Palestinian to talk about Palestinian-Israeli conflict. So there is absolutely a cancel culture.
Sorry, thank you. I want to finish my final questions to you, Youssef. Talk me through life at the moment. When you finish work, you go home, you're going to sleep praying that the phone doesn't ring, I'm guessing.
That's correct. We have been under stress for the past 3 weeks or more. It's very tragic, very catastrophic situation. I experienced those moments. I was covering the first Israeli war in Gaza 2008 and the second 2012. So I'm fully aware of the dire situation there. We Palestinians, we are not people of a lesser God. So claiming that they are God's chosen nation, this does not give them a right to commit massacres. We call on the international community to stop treating us as subhumans. They must stop dehumanizing us. Palestinians are fellow human beings. Only what they are asking for is just to be a free nation without colonization. Freedom is what we have been aspiring for the past 75 years.
Yusuf, Sari, Majid, thank you all so much. Remember, you can see more discussion and debate on our YouTube channel. Search for Roundtable TRT World. But from now, from me and Brady and all of the team here, goodbye and thank you for watching.